This webinar is the Hong Kong Hour, which we have about monthly per year. And then we have here our Consul General, Timo Kantola, and Miriam Likita, our General Secretary, and some our board members also. And we have in this webinar series, we have started now to the process that we have a good example about how to use different kind of AI tools to be more creative and do things faster and better last time, and that will be in our YouTube channel also, and that's a great one. And now this one we will have a opportunity to get all the EE, the how to culturally make the business in the Nordics and Hong Kong and Asia area. That's very important also for the business people to understand the culture, that we don't do the mistakes when we go to the new areas. But before we share the presentation and we shortly show that what we are doing and what the Hong Kong TDC is doing, and then we can start with His Excellency Timo Kantola's few words about Hong Kong. Please, Timo, the floor is yours.
Thanks. First thing in our mind today, of course, is the huge fire that still continues. Things are in better control at the moment, but the fire still continues in Taipo area, and everyone here in Hong Kong has been shocked on this event, and the Consulate General also has expressed its heartfelt condolences in the social media this morning, and this is now something that of course then raises questions about the fire safety especially in buildings where some construction works are taking place. But not only that, also issues like fire exits and that sort of issues will be now checked, and there will be scrutiny, and so this will have a big impact on the Hong Kong scene and discussions. There's still open issue whether the elections will take place as scheduled for the 7th of December, and we will hear about that soon. So this is where we are, and it's as I mentioned, given the record that Hong Kong has a good record in dealing with these sort of situations. This is really historic event what now has happened. Sad event. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Timo. And we really, our hearts are there in the Hong Kong people. Okay, Miriam, and we shared the presentation, and we shortly tell us about Finland-Hong Kong Business Association.
Yes, so hi everyone, I'm Miriam Ligi, and I work as the Secretary General at the Finland-Hong Kong Business Association. I work for the Finland Chamber of Commerce as a specialist for international trade, and under our umbrella organization, we work with the business associations, and I work additional to this one, I work with some Asia business associations as well, with Finland Southeast Asia, Finland China, Finland Hong Kong, and Finland India business associations. But today we're focusing on Hong Kong, and I will tell you shortly about our association and our activities. So in short, we're founded in 1985. So we have 40 years of activity, and here in the photo you can see our celebration seminar for our 40th anniversary, which was this March, if I remember correctly. Yes, but we're a small association. We have around 30 small and medium-sized corporate members, and in the past year we've been kind of ramping up our activities and our services to our members, our Finnish companies. Our flagship event is the Chinese New Year reception, and this year we held a seminar together with the New Year reception. Earlier it has been a lunch type of event, but now we're making it much bigger. And also for you to know as well, the next one will be held on the 11th of February next year. So hopefully you are able to make it. And this is in NH Hansa Collection Hotel in the city center of Helsinki. So that's kind of our flagship event where we have over 100 people attending, networking and discussing about Hong Kong matters. And then on our everyday side of things, we organize these Hong Kong Hour webinars, such as this one. We have these around once a month, and we have different kinds of information. And as Pertti told earlier, that we have different topics from AI to general market knowledge to something more specific. Last time we had a event about a business park that is or incubator park that is in Hong Kong. So that was quite interesting. So we tried to make it so that it's useful for both sides in Hong Kong and also Finland, and also with our Nordic colleagues as well. We work a lot together with our Nordic sister associations as well. So these types of events offer virtual and physical networking. And quite something that is special about this association is that we work very, very closely with our Hong Kong entities or our partners. So especially Hong Kong TDC, which Pertti will tell about a bit more after this presentation. Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, which is actually our main sponsoring partner for this yearly flagship event. And then Hong Kong Invest, and also startup incubators and other organizations as well. And we are a part of the Federation of Hong Kong Business Associations worldwide as well. A new thing that we have introduced this year is the matchmaking tool, which is I'll share it in the chat after this presentation. It's an opportunity for our members, but also other partner organizations members to network with each other, and this is a very GDPR safe tool as well. So we're in a pilot phase. In this, we're trying to have as many contacts in the platform as possible, so it can be useful for our members and our partners as well. So currently, it's completely free to use. It's at the discretion of our association, but I will link it in the chat. So the board is small but active. We have different types of companies, as you can see in the photo. So from startups to the public sector as well. So Finnvera, for example, is a public sector agency. And then also we have a regional liaison in Hong Kong as well, which helps us with meeting organization and sharing information about our activities. And this looks a bit complex maybe, but basically we are our strategy is focused on the different parts of companies or different phases of a company. So we are useful for every company depending on which phase you are. So when it comes to the pre-seed, we are the kind of contact point for all these organizations in Finland, for example, and we are kind of the contact point for, or the kind of hub for companies, so we can help them to find the organizations that can support their growth and their export journey to Hong Kong as well. So all the way from Finland to Hong Kong. And for this, of course, our matchmaking tool is an important tool, and then our Hong Kong Hour webinars. And we work together quite closely with our partners. So for example, Hong Kong TDC is a big partner and is able to help Finnish companies to attend different events in Hong Kong, for example. But Pertti will tell us a bit more closely about that. Here I have some events that we've had this November. As I said, we had the incubation program event. Actually, I think it was a week ago, last week. Yes. So this year it's been quite active. So we've even had more than one Hong Kong hour in a month. And then today we're here with Aalto. And then most importantly, we are preparing for our February event for our business seminar and Chinese New Year celebration. So it's going to be probably bigger than ever this year. We're expecting around 200 people to join. So I will send you in the chat also the registration for that. So you're very welcome to join us. It's a great event. And then here, as I mentioned, the partners that we have. So I have listed here only some of them, but these are probably the ones that we work the most closest with. For example, this year as well, our chair Pertti is going to Hong Kong actually next week to meet more of our partners and signing MOUs as well. So you will probably hear more about the organizations there. All right, so that's my presentation. I will also share Pertti's, so you can continue from here. Just a second.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. Very good one. Yes, and the Mats Gatland is also here. And if you have anything good questions about the Hong Kong Invest, you can put in the chat, and he can send you to his contact information. Yeah, also very few words about the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, that we have also the office here in Finland now for the Nordics, and we can help the companies connecting in the Nordic levels also, but also to the Hong Kong level, and also helping the Hong Kong companies to come to the Nordics and help them to found the right partners. Okay, next one. Can you put in the presentation mode?
Let me try again. Let's see.
And Hong Kong TDC has 30 different events in Hong Kong side, and
can you see it now? Can you see the
this
map?
It doesn't share, but if you just change to the slides there, you can go to the next one.
Way.
I think it's enough to see. Yeah.
Okay.
So Hong Kong has TDC have 50 offices around the world, and it's not only that we have a network for the Nordics and Hong Kong, but we have also the global network of the different kind of business people and the business connections everywhere. That it's a very, very valuable network. Okay, the next one. And there is plenty of different kind of research material available for the companies. Then there is the address for the place where you can find them, and any kind of the information you need from Hong Kong business area, and then also the Great Bay Area and China. It's available from these pages. Next one. And the two next important events, there is AFF, Asian Financial Forum, which is more than 3,000 investors yearly coming there. This is an excellent place just to go there and see around and find the people, or just attend in the exhibition or some other way. And also the Medical and Healthcare Fair is 11-13 May next year. These are maybe two most important for the Nordic companies or the Finnish companies to go. Okay, the next one. And here is the list of the 30 different, you can go to the next one, different kind of the events there is available in the Hong Kong TDC. And these are not just the events and exhibitions, there is also the network that we can arrange together with the Hong Kong TDC and the FinTrade Measure, which is a legal advisor there in the Hong Kong, to all kind of meetings and needed network information inside the Hong Kong. That it's much more than just to go to the event or exhibition in there. The next one. And this is an interesting one, that if you want to hit in the 2 million buyers and 130,000 quality suppliers and a big amount of the products and to make the matchmaking in that area, there's more than 24 million annually connections in this Hong Kong Telecom sourcing part, that you only had to register in there, and you have all these network in your use. Okay, the next one. I think that this is a fast go through, and any kind of questions you have, you can contact to us. And maybe this is the last slide, that we have this our own matchmaking tool. That as the previous slide, you see that we have a physical events, this kind of Hong Kong hours, and then this is the digital part of the matchmaking. That it's a simple tool that you can add your information in there, and if there is a need and a request, then you can connect straight with these companies and start to work together. And we only calculate about how many things happens, but all the discussions are made by between the two members. And Miriam will send this link to you, and you can register it. The only way is that any associations or similar organization, they take care about their members, that you had to be a member of some association, and the association are accepted by Miriam, and then every association or the generation or federation accept their members. It's a very straightforward system and
Yes,
helps
and if you're not a member of us yet, you can still join. Just put in our association there, so I can accept you there, because it's free now until the end of 2026. So just.
But also it's very valuable to be our member, because we have a lot of good value for our members. Okay, that's all. Now we can go to the main issue, and we can go for the Aalto E part. And Laura Sivula will show about the very important issues about the culture and how to make the business. Okay, Laura, please, floor is yours.
Perfect. Here we go. Just checking that you can see my materials and you can hear me okay.
Yes, very well.
Yes, very good. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Laura Sivula. I'm the Director of Academic and International Affairs at Aalto University Executive Education. We are a company fully owned by Aalto University, and for 40 years we've been offering MBA, executive MBA, and executive education in Finland and around the world, and mainly in Asia. Not in Hong Kong yet. Hopefully this can open up some discussions on what we could be doing in Hong Kong as well. So again, a pleasure to present to you today. Before I go into topics related to executive education, just a quick reminder and run through of what our background is at Aalto University. So Aalto University was founded as an innovation university as part of a government mandate in Finland. And from the beginning, we've had a very clear mission on combining business, technology, and design, and making sure that we do world-class research, but at the same time that we serve businesses and society as well. We are a combination of 3 existing universities, although we are only 15 years old as Aalto University, we have a long background with 3 existing top universities in the Helsinki region. Nevertheless, nowadays we are based here in Otaniemi in Espoo. Aalto University is quite interesting in many ways, that we have top research in many topics, but we also follow these kind of cross-cutting approaches on integrating multidisciplinarity into research and education. We really see that there's a huge need in the world to combine business, technology, and design, but at the same time looking at cross-cutting approaches such as solutions for sustainability, radical creativity, and entrepreneurial mindset in order to better serve the needs of businesses and societies. So at Aalto, you will find a lot of mixtures in terms of research and education topics, and we try and kind of redefine what we do. We have 6 schools, so School of Art, Design and Architecture, School of Business, and then we have 4 schools of engineering. So you can see that we are quite heavily an engineering and technology school. Maybe one word about the School of Art, Design and Architecture. We actually rank number 8 in the world in design. and we've been ranking number 2 in fashion globally. These are quite unique rankings for a Finnish university, and we are very proud that we can achieve these kind of rankings globally. Here are some of the other rankings that we have, and one of, or actually maybe I would want you to focus on the right hand side, and because I think these are quite interesting rankings. So first of all, we ranked number 23 in university industry collaboration globally, and this is really what Aalto University was built for. So ranking so high in this is important for us because it really shows that what we are doing is reaching our goals and our mission. We're also an extremely international university, even though our location in Espoo is quite remote and quite up north, and many people who first move to Finland, they have to endure long and dark winters. So even though our kind of location and climate conditions aren't necessarily the most interesting in the world, we still attract absolutely the top researchers globally. And then we are ranked number 3 in Finland in terms of patent applications, and we're only university on the list. So I think before us it's maybe Nokia and some. Once again, this is a very important part of our mission, that our innovations actually become patents, and through that they are implemented in businesses as well. We have a state-of-the-art open infrastructures for research, artistic activities, and innovations in some of our key areas. Maybe some of the topics that I could maybe lift up at the moment is that we have quite interesting spin-offs from Aalto University. I think IQM, quantum computing, extremely interesting. We have some of the best quantum research in the world in Otaniemi at the moment. Very critical research in terms of artificial intelligence, and this has become a huge strength for Aalto University. Then another interesting spin-off, ISI, which is a satellite technology company. Started off as a student project, and through the student project around 10 years ago, we ended up launching Finland's first satellite. And now ISI has become one of the fastest growing unicorns in Finland, and especially looking at the geopolitical situation around the world, satellite technologies are extremely crucial when it comes to defense, for example. We're also hosting NATO's Diana project here in Otaniemi. So through these kind of like changes in technology and geopolitical situations, we are actually becoming an epicenter for absolutely crucial research. Okay. But that was a quick kind of like run through of our background. Just wanted to introduce a bit of Aalto University before we go into the topic of executive education. So as I said, we are an independent company, fully owned by the university. We operate here in Espoo, and we have a city center campus in Helsinki, and also we have a campus in Singapore. We've been present in the APAC region for 30 years. Later on, I'll give you a few examples of what we've been doing, for example, in South Korea and in Taiwan. So we have a strong footprint in Asia as well. We are Triple Crown accredited, which is very important in the world of executive education. So we are really one of the top business schools around the world, and this is a real strength for our MBA, executive MBA, and DBA programs. But we don't only serve the business school here at Aalto University, but we offer executive education and lifelong learning in all of the topics that Aalto University has strength in. So as an executive education provider, we are quite unique globally in a way that we have a very strong offering also in design and engineering topics. We do rank among the best in the world. So looking at the FT rankings, which are the most important rankings for executive education, for example, in custom education, so education for companies, we rank number 28 in the world, and we actually rank number six in Asia. This is something that we are very proud of, and as an executive education provider, we have a very strong focus on customized education for companies, and we do this in Finland and around the world. But looking at where executive education is going and what are some of the needs that leaders face currently and tomorrow as well. These are some of the main topics that we touch upon in everything that we do in executive education. Looking at the technology disruption, this is something that all leaders are struggling with and companies are struggling with at the moment, is the pace of technological disruption. And for us, it's very important that when we look at executive education, we don't only look at general management topics, but actually we very strongly integrate more technical topics as well, and make sure that leaders are equipped with more kind of like in-depth information as well. Sustainability is a strong topic for us. As a university, we are known for our sustainability research, and this is an increasingly important topic both in Europe and in Asia. I already mentioned geopolitical instability. This is something that's that we face in all of the markets that we operate in. That leaders need to have more knowledge and capabilities in navigating geopolitical issues. Another important topic is looking at productivity, especially in Finland. We have a huge productivity issue at the moment. How do we kind of like overcome this issue in order to see growth? Is something that is increasingly important. But then at the same time, balancing productivity with the kind of like pace of technological development, that's quite a big puzzle for many organizations to solve. We also see kind of paradigm shifts in leadership. We see generational shifts. We see a lot of shifts in terms of how to maintain competitiveness as an organization based on leadership styles and capabilities. Something that we advocate strongly for is Nordic leadership. Going to talk about it in a few seconds, and how to kind of like move away from this maybe more US style leadership paradigm into new ways of thinking in terms of leadership and more value-based approaches. And then at the same time, we are facing a huge skills gap and mismatch and massive needs for up and reskilling. And this is not only a European issue, but we see these same up and reskilling issues across the globe as well. Maybe to touch upon on the need of for reskilling and upskilling. This is a very widely referenced report, this World Economic Forum report. But I think it's good to kind of stop for a second around this number that the reskilling needs in the next 5 years are quite massive. Then when we look at the top 10 skills for 2025, so for this year, it's a huge mixture of skills. There's soft skills, hard skills. How do organizations navigate with these needs for up and reskilling is a big question that we are often faced. And what we see in our business is that we are moving moving away from just serving C-suite executives in terms of leadership training, and really looking at how do we help organizations in a very holistic way. How do we build, for example, learning architectures that go through the whole organization in order to make sure that these reskilling and upskilling needs are being met. But these are becoming quite kind of like complex puzzles of needs that organizations face. And then when you combine the kind of topics that I mentioned in the previous slides, the leadership challenges are becoming quite huge, because you need to be able to operate with very fast technological changes in volatile environments, maybe in markets where there's low growth, if we're talking about Europe, and then at the same time the skills and competencies of your employees are depreciating at a faster pace. But then you might be thinking, why Finland? Why Aalto EE? What is it that we are bringing to the world? And I usually like to start this discussion with looking at some of these key metrics. And although at the moment Finland is not really growing, and we are being pinpointed for our financial issues on a national level in the EU, but still there are things that we've been doing quite well when we look at these metrics. So we are leaders in these different areas. If we look at digitalization, openness and trust, happiness and well-being, equality and inclusion, social infrastructure for business, and sustainability. Being such a small country, I think these are quite huge achievements, that we can be really leaders in all of these topics. And this is something that we bring to different markets outside of Finland as well. Leadership combined with these capabilities, and how we can really transform organizations and transform individuals' careers with bringing in this kind of like Nordic mindset for leadership. So talking about Nordic leadership, this is a concept that we touch upon quite often, and it's really our way to kind of bring something new to this leadership discussion and these topics, which have been research around the world. Executive education as a concept is very old, but we do need to bring in something unique, and specifically in this time and age, we can really see that these different values, these leadership behaviors create impact and resonate in the markets that we operate in. If we look at these different kind of leadership behaviors, these are behaviors that, if these can be supported in organizations, they typically lead towards more creativity and more innovation, ownership and accountability, a more sustainable approach in business, increased digital transformation, better well-being at work, and more inclusive work environments. So these, in a way, we bring these leadership behaviors and topics to the table as a kind of like add-on to the more traditional leadership paradigm that has been very well popularized, for example, by U.S. universities during the past decades. So then you might be thinking, why does Nordic leadership resonate in Asia? So some of the shared values that we have witnessed when it comes to Finland and many Asian cultures is that there's a shared appreciation towards quality, craftsmanship, long-term thinking, and group harmony. Although, for example, this group harmony takes different forms in Finland, it takes different forms in other Nordic countries, and it takes different forms in different Asian countries as well. But there's this certain kind of sense of this like togetherness or consensus orientation that these cultures share. There's also, we can find cultural complementarity between Nordic approaches and Asian approaches. Typically, when we combine this kind of like Nordic transparency and Asian precision, we actually find this very resilient leadership. And I do see that this kind of like Nordic leadership approach is in a way the missing piece in this kind of Asian precision and growth and hard workingness. Some of the topics that really resonate at the moment in different markets across Asia are topics related to well-being, related to happiness, related to work-life balance. So this is something that we educate organizations across the APAC region to really kind of like complement that high kind of like drive and high ambition for growth with this more kind of like humane topics that then in the end actually result into better well-being and result into more innovation and through that result into better business. So this kind of like concept that psychological safety enhances innovation in consensus-driven cultures is very important for us. And especially in Aalto, we have researched in innovation and innovation practices for decades, and we've really seen that innovation thrives in these environments where there is psychological safety and there is ability to operate with open-ended questions. There are low hierarchies, there are no right or wrong answers. So really how to kind of like foster these cultures in and these behaviors in more Asian working environments is something that we talk with a lot of companies in the APAC region. Something that we can also maybe then find similarities between Finland and Hong Kong is this valuing endurance over quick wins. So as Finns, we have sisu. Hong Kongers have lion rock spirit, and I think there's a lot of similarities in these kind of like approaches, and it really relates to this shared long-term orientation. Something that's quite similar that we can attach to this long-term orientation is that Asian companies, they often think in generations and not quarters, and this is quite similar how Nordic firms operate as well. That they prioritize sustainability, resilience, and long-term societal impact as opposed to quick wins and these kind of like quarterly wins. So we can find similarities in how organizations think and operate. The Hong Kong mindset of focused effort and continuous improvement, it really complements the Nordic ideals of incremental innovation, collaborative learning, becoming better together through innovation practices. And I think that Nordic leadership, it really complements this with promoting purpose-driven strategies and enabling companies to align profit with progress. And I think really this aligning profit with progress is at the heart of Nordic leadership as an ideology, and maybe this is something that also resonates in Hong Kong. Both Asian and Finnish workplace cultures, they place a strong emphasis on harmony and consensus building, and Nordic leadership really strengthens this through psychological safety, inclusive dialogue, and building these kind of like environments, working environments, innovation environments, where it's safe to challenge ideas, but at the same time preserving harmony and consensus. what we have witnessed through both research and practice is that when people feel safe to speak, that's when innovation emerges, and it doesn't need to disrupt the group cohesion, but rather the group cohesion can support those innovation practices. So how can Aalto EE help in these topics? We offer custom programs for companies. We have our MBA portfolio. We do open programs, but then at the same time, we also invite many visitors around the world on study tours, on innovation immersions. We serve universities, we serve companies, we serve public sectors in different regions of the world. And now, next, I'm going to show a few examples on what we've been doing specifically in the APAC region, actually for decades already, that relate to these innovation practices and bringing Nordic leadership into the market. Okay, so here are some of our international partners and collaborators, and you can see that we are very active in Asia. And as I said, we've had an office in Singapore for 25 years. And we continue to have a presence in the market. We also organize programs at our Singapore campus. So we're not so far away from Hong Kong in that sense. If Finland is too far away. So one of our longest-standing collaborations and joint programs has been in South Korea. So together with Seoul Business School at Asis University, we have been running a joint executive MBA for 30 years, and this is the longest-running higher education expert program in Finland. And we have been running this for 30 years consecutively, even through COVID. We are very proud of this achievement, and just this autumn we were celebrating this 30-year milestone in Seoul. Something that is quite interesting about this program is that already for decades we've been doing an in-house executive MBA for LG Electronics. And these in-house executive MBA programs, this is really a way for us to have long-lasting impact on companies and organizations. And we are very happy that LG has trusted us for so long. And one of the aspects that LG really appreciates about us is that we have this very strong focus on entrepreneurship, multidisciplinarity, and these innovation leadership capabilities. So they send their top executives and leaders to our program every year, and as part of that, they also have a residency program in Helsinki. So they come and visit us. And as I said, there's a very strong focus on how to improve and encourage innovation capabilities at LG. We've had an executive MBA program in Taiwan also for 25 years. We have recently relaunched it with a new partner. So we are just opening up the first admissions for the Aalto NCU Executive MBA in Taiwan. This is maybe something that could be of interest for you as well, since the program also welcomes participants from outside of Taiwan. And this is once again, Taiwan is a very important epicenter for growth and technological innovations. We are very happy to to have a program in Taipei, and now we are extremely happy that we have a new partner there. NCU is a top public university in the region, so this is something that we are quite excited about. And once again, just putting this out there, we would be quite happy to find such collaborating universities in Hong Kong as well. When it comes to MBAs and executive education, the markets tend to be quite crowded. But we have long-standing experience on how to launch these kind of like joint global programs, and we have been able to find our target groups and segments both in Seoul and in Taipei. This is an example from Finland, but this ties quite closely to what we do in Asia as well. We've been working very strongly with transforming public sector organizations for decades as well. And this is something that I really see that's gaining a lot of interest in Asia, is this kind of executive education in public sectors. So we also serve ministries and different kind of authorities in many countries. One example that I didn't have here is that actually in Singapore, we are currently educating Singaporean Special Task Force soldiers through a collaboration with Singapore University of Technology and Design and the Ministry of Defense in Singapore. So once again, this is an example that we're not only educating in general management, but also in technology topics. And for example, this defense industry is an industry that's becoming quite important for us, and also through the recent NATO membership of Finland. Finland is becoming quite an interesting destination when it comes to defense-related education as well. Actually, at this point, I'm gonna stop sharing since we have a bit of time left, and I would really want to open up the discussion, and maybe there might be some questions. This was quite a quick run through of we do and how we see that our experience really fits into the Asian market. So any questions that you might have about Aalto University, about executive education, what we do in the APAC region, I welcome all kinds of questions.
Very good. Thank you, Laura, about your excellent presentation and very important information. And we will share this in our YouTube channel and also share it in the Hong Kong side. Here is one question from His Excellent Timo Kantola, that who could ideally be your partners in Hong Kong?
So in Hong Kong, we have a few different kinds of ideal partners. So one of them is universities. So universities who would be interested in working on joint executive education degrees, so MBA, EMBA, DBA, or universities that want to collaborate in lifelong learning, in engineering and in technology and design topics, so joint programs in those areas. Equally, we work around the world with different kinds of chambers of commerce, different kind of trade associations, different kind of management associations. So that's one kind of partnership that we have as well. And then we work a lot directly with companies. So we do a lot of different kind of custom education directly to companies.
Okay, very good. And Mats, you have a question, please.
Yeah, thanks, Pertti, and hi, Laura, and great presentation. I'm the Nordic rep for Invest Hong Kong, so we try to get more Finnish company or universities or whatever to Hong Kong. And as you probably know, 5 of the top 100 in the world are in Hong Kong. So I mean, it's a lot of. But just how does it work with Aalto University? You're saying that you have a presence in, for example, in Singapore. How does that setup look like? When you say you have a presence, do you have an office, local employed people, or how's it set up?
Yes. Yes, so we have an office, and we have locally we have 3 people working there at the moment. So that's very much kind of like a sales and program management hub for us in Asia. I think we have a very similar situation in Singapore. That in Singapore, some of the absolute top universities are in that region. But still, we have very strong connections with all of the universities. And for example, Singapore University of Technology and Design, it's a great example that we continuously collaborate with them with different kind of joint programs for ministries, for companies, and so on. And we also serve the Southeast Asia region from Singapore. Then at the same time, we don't have kind of people in Korea, but we have such a strong partner who represents us in the region there, and we visit Korea frequently. In Taipei, the same situation that the university represents us in that region. Hong Kong has absolutely amazing universities, but at the same time, many of these top research universities are looking for kind of like widening their offerings, looking for new international opportunities. So I do believe that there is space for collaboration.
Very good. Thank you very much. And then Jari Vepsäläinen, who has been 40 years in Hong Kong, and it's a legal advisor company, FinTrade Measure. Jari, do you have some comments about this excellent presentation?
Yes, we have been lecturing a lot actually about China, Hong Kong, and all the others. You see, especially with the now it's called MIF, you know, and I think Pertti has been also lecturing there about China and others. So the actually my background is I'm a corporate lawyer. I went 40 years. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs has exchange students and exchange researchers. I wrote my licentiate dissertation. It was the first book written about Chinese company law. I've been lecturing a lot on those issues, not so much in Finland, but you know, a lot in other countries. But definitely there's interest on those issues as much explained. You know, Finland is kind of interesting place now in the world, you know, and the Finnish companies are rather good. So I think might be good opportunity to come to Hong Kong as well. And you know, but you see, the thing is that if you come, like I have been 40 years there, you see, if you arrange the business lectures, like some of like our ladies who are working with us, like Melinda, she went to MBA Aalto University and she was in Birmingham. You had to have a really high level, you know, presentations, because often those presentations who talk, they really don't know their subject. They just, you know, and they come to present without presentations. Their PowerPoints are quite useless, if I say. I was lecturing with Mats, you see, last year. You know that, and Timo was with us. You had to have a real people, hands-on experience, not talk about theory, how to do business in the Chinese universe. I mean that Hong Kong, you know, anywhere with the Chinese. So, but definitely Hong Kong is the place to be.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Very valuable. And then we have one question in the chat, but also sorry, I want to ask something. Please, sorry. You are muted.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I think they are very much useful for business. But I just want to ask Madam Laura, what are the steps to developing some kind of cooperation with your university in different fields, and how can I access your contacts so we can take it from there?
Yes, I will add my contact details here in the chat. But it's really just having that first initial conversation and seeing what kind of match there might be. As I said earlier, we kind of like collaborate and operate in many different kind of fields. So depending if we are talking about, for example, MBA collaboration, we have a certain set of criteria that we look at, and then it's different when we talk about engineering education and so on. So, but I'm the person to guide through these discussions, and I will always try and find the correct people to talk with. But and if it's to do with executive education, then I am absolutely the right person to have the first discussion with.
Yeah, very good. And maybe His Excellency Timo Kantola, if you want to say something about how we can help to Aalto to establish in the Hong Kong area.
Yeah, thanks. I have discussed with a couple of friends, and I will take the liberty of discussing this onwards also from the position where I am, that explaining to some Hong Kong players that there is this Aalto University EE program or company, and willing to look for partners in Hong Kong. Maybe I will make one comment now when it was mentioned, which I also share, that there's some room for the markets in Hong Kong. There are many players and a lot of competition. That's what I have heard also from here. But one thing what we should recognize is that USA has been by far the biggest partner in education field, and I believe in this area where you also, Laura, are working. And even with the geopolitical situation at the moment, the US role that it's going to be the biggest will stay. So it's not going to happen that the US would somehow withdraw from the markets here, and then others would fill the room. And so I know that the USA is very actively engaged in education cooperation here, and if you look at the numbers, they are by far the biggest. And I think this is good to keep in mind also in view of the domestic discussion that we have in Finland. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good comment. And Laura, are you going to share this presentation with us?
Yes, I will share the presentation and some other background materials as well.
Yeah, very good. And Miriam will share it to everybody who are listening this one. And I appreciate a lot about your valuable presentation because it's very important to educate yourself for the different cultures and understand what you are doing in the different countries, that you don't make the mistakes both ways, that Hong Kong people coming to Nordics, they face different kind of the culture, and also when we go to the Hong Kong Asia, it's again a different kind of culture. And in my career, 40 years running around the world, I see that I should learn more about the languages and the culture and history, but you can always start it in any age to do it. But it's good that we have this kind of education available, and we continue the cooperation and try to help you to establish to your operations also in the Hong Kong area. Miriam, do you want to say something in the end?
Well, thank you for this wonderful webinar, and I think we can continue the discussions, and I will share the information after this. And also in the chat, please look at the invitation for the Chinese New Year. I will also send you an email after this, so you will have all the information possible. But thank you very much, and I will stop the recording now as well.
Yeah. Okay, and any information or the help you need, just contact me or Miriam. And also Mats put his information there if you need any intro from the Hong Kong Invest. It's possible, and also the Hong Kong TDC, that as you will see our presentation, our process, that we have a different kind of help to different size of the companies. And welcome everybody to our Chinese New Year party and also the Chinese New Year business event before that one. Thanks a lot. And